Welcome back to another episode of the Corner Podcast. I'm your host, Jeju, and in the podcast where I invited friends or guests, to come to the podcast and to share their life experiences and to discuss topics that we might never discuss before. So, once again, please welcome, welcome to my co-host. Please welcome again, Pang Hong Shen. Okay, I can't hear you again. That's another problem.
Hello. Hi. Okay. I have to do this already. Hi.
Oh my gosh, hold on. I want to lower down your voice a bit.
Okay. Hello.
Hongzhen is too loud.
Yes.
It's too loud. Alright, so as you can hear, as you can listen, we brought him back yet again to the show. Please welcome my good friend, YouTuber, fellow content creator, Shaun Yoong.
Hi everyone. Hey to everyone who's watching. Thank you, Jack, for having me once again.
You're welcome, bro. You're welcome. Alright, to be honest, right, after the third episode, we are talking about how Shaun started YouTube, and then right after right after the set, we are just talking straight at my house living room. We'll be like, hey, why not we can talk about other topics, like even about anything. So I invited Shaun back to the show again, but this episode is pretty interesting one, because as I know, if you're a follower of Shaun's Instagram or even Facebook, that he actually cooks a lot. That's a fun fact of him. He actually cooks a lot at home. He don't study culinary because his parents don't let.
No, it's not because my parents don't let. It's because we don't have money. Yeah, that's the
It's
reality.
okay. You cook. You can self cook. You can cook your. You can learn how to cook yourself. You don't need to waste money to learn how to cook.
Hey, that's true. But hey, if you're a culinary student watching this, we're not implying that you're wasting your money. Yeah, okay. It's
No, culinary.
But hey, but I think what Hongzhen is trying to say is, like, I think anyone can cook.
True.
Yeah, basically that lah. But culinary students will be the ones that you can see all those. But for me, I like those students that can do like candy, like chocolate. Yeah.
Candy.
Very nice.
But
This is gonna be a really nice episode.
yes, it's gonna be. But as you guys may know, in this podcast, every start of the podcast, we will start a segment called "What's Your Favorite?" And this segment is where I ask my guests and what and why. And basically, that's it. So you get the flow. So this episode again is only going to be one question. So yes, I'm gonna save some time for me. So the only question for today is since we also get to cook a lot and we get to eat a lot. If you're in Malaysian, you're gonna eat a lot. So what is our favorite cuisine? Today's question is pretty straightforward, pretty easy, I would say. So let's start with Hongzhen, shall we?
Sure, no problem. For me, right? I mean, I don't really know the term for like cuisines, but for me, probably Asian, I guess. Asian cuisine, like Malaysia styles one. Like,
oh wow.
Like, how to say? Like very, very sweet pen, like that one.
Very chin chai.
Very chin chai. Yes, I forgot the word for chin chai already.
Our home country. That's our home country. I love
Yes.
our
Yes.
food, our country, right?
Yes, correct. Especially nasi lemak.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. Will be Asian cuisine.
Alright, cool. Then how about Shaun? Hey, you okay? Just want to point out, you are pretty interesting because you actually cook a lot, and then you also get to experiment a lot. So I'm really interested. Like, I'm curious also, but also the listeners who are listen out there, like, what's your favorite cuisine? Favorite, yeah, only one.
Only one. Okay, so this is. I know you said that this is a pretty straightforward question, lah. But to me, because I don't know whether it's because I cook a lot, but it's really hard for me to answer this question. If I were to only pick one, it would be. I have to agree with Hongzhen. I will go for Asian, even though I cook a lot of Western food per se. But what I like about Asian food in particular is Asian has a bigger scope. Philippines is Asian, Taiwan is Asian, Hong Kong is Asian, Malaysian is Asian, Singaporean is Asian, but technically Singaporean food is Malaysian food.
Correct. Just want to say out there.
Singaporean food, Malaysian food is better Singaporean food. That's what I want to say.
Yes, let's go. Malaysian.
Everything, everything that Singapore says, any food that the world says is Singaporean food, we make it better. You guys agree with that?
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I mean, for some, maybe not lah. Like, I don't know lah. Like for some countries, they don't really enjoy spicy food. We enjoy spicy food a lot. So
That's true. That's true.
for spicy food, probably Singapore has toned down a bit.
Yes. But yeah, like I like that you brought that up because even though I said my favorite cuisine is Asian food, I don't have a really high spice tolerance. But I'm trying to practice lah, you know. Yeah. See, you're laughing right now. You see, when I eat spicy food, right, I will definitely sweat a lot. I'm not kidding.
Let me tell you when I start eating spicy. It's on the day that I couldn't eat any food. But I had no choice but to eat spicy food only. So that day is the day that I started to eat spicy food.
Oh damn.
High five, Pongson. High five. Okay.
Virtual high five. I think for me, right, it's as I said just now, as I say, it's gonna be a simple question. Simple question to answer. But I think I think I agree though. It's not. Yeah, as you say, I also cook a lot Westernese food or Italian food in a way, but I'm just gonna stick to Malaysian. Asia, sorry, specifically Asian food, because
Yeah.
Asian food they have a lot of, as you say, is very broad. There's a lot of varieties to it, so I think it's gonna be Asian.
Yeah, because okay, I didn't study culinary or anything, but from an amateur home cook lah, you know, how I see my perspective on this is Western food is Western food. It's just Western food. Because spaghetti is actually not Western food, it's Italian food.
Yes, true.
Pizza is Italian food. Western food is just what we go to Western restaurants, chicken chop, fish and chips, spaghetti. But like I said, spaghetti is, to be more specific, that's Italian food. But when you say Asian food, there's so many to choose from.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no like one Asian food. You have Malaysian food, you have Taiwan food, and all of them they're unique in their very own way. And like that, right? I agree that even though we are Asian, we're Malaysian. I think the reason why, I don't know whether you guys agree with this or not. I think the reason why we cook a lot of Western food at home is because a lot of food tutorials online are Western food.
True.
That is true. But
Yeah.
for me, right, if we cook Western food, if we really cook Western food, right, is really because it's cheaper.
You can say that,
Yeah,
technically.
you can say that,
I mean, if you don't buy like A5 Wagyu steak lah.
Bro,
I mean,
that was too much.
Even if you buy A5 Wagyu steak, right, you cook it's still the same. It's still gonna be a bit cheaper lah.
Okay.
When you buy from like restaurants.
I've never thought about it that way. I've never thought about, cooking Western. Why do we cook Western food is because of the price. I never thought about it that way.
For me, right, it's like the price is always like, for me, it's like cheaper, because we are cooking it. We're not, and we can season it the way we like.
That's
If we go
true.
to the
And
restaurant,
Yeah.
we only can eat whatever the cook cooks first.
that's true. I agree with that.
True.
Yeah.
That's very true. All right. Wow. Enough about the chit chat. Today's episode is gonna be very interesting because the flow. Okay, just want to put it out there. The flow is quite long, but
Oh yeah.
I think the answer will be kind of short and simple in a way. But we see how it goes. If this episode is gonna be long, I'm so sorry.
This podcast is gonna be 2 hours long.
You- 2 hours, you're gonna be like part after like part one, right? Stay
You
tuned
say
for part
the
two.
answers are gonna be short. You say the answers are gonna be short, but you see this what's your favorite segment? How long is it already? How long is it?
About
10 minutes?
for 5 to 10 minutes
5
already.
to 10 minutes?
I'm not gonna lie, lah. I think partially it's my fault for talking so much.
No. It's fine. Bro, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Alright, so let's start off the first topic I would say in this episode. So the first questions to all of us. What's the first dish we cook at home? This is pretty interesting because if you want to think about it, it's like few years back. I also forgotten what's the first dish I cooked at home.
I've also forgotten. Hey Jack, do you wanna share what the first dish you think you cook is first before Hong Shui and I tell ours?
Yeah.
Sure.
You go first.
Sure. I think I think I sort of get it, but it's not the actual dish. I think the first dish I ever cooked for my family, by the way, is actually simple how to say, simple saute vegetables with some Chinese sauce, something like that, garlic, oyster sauce, and then the veg. That's basically my first, because like back then I was so afraid to cook veg because I cook veg easily get overcooked sometimes, even sometimes raw, because I don't know when it's gonna be done. So yeah, I think that would be my first dish. It's a veg. I forgotten what veg really is. It's been a long while. So yeah, I think it's a vegetable.
Vegetables, cool, nice. Sauteed vegetables.
Yeah, I think it's saute. I don't know how to say in English, but
Yeah,
that's the technical term.
sauteed is I'm sure like there's a very technical description for saute. But
Yeah,
to
there
me,
is.
saute is a sexy version of frying, lah.
Yeah. True.
Basically, frying.
True. It's true. Yeah, how about Sean?
The first dish, maybe this is true, maybe it's not, but it's definitely one of the earlier dishes. Um, I think it's spaghetti bolognese, and when I say spaghetti bolognese, it's those those we buy those sauce.
Oh, from the
jar.
From the
Yeah.
jar.
Yeah, it's not from scratch, guys. Don't overthink it. So when I say spaghetti bolognese, is usually we just keep it very simple. My dad and I would just go to the pork shop, the butchers. We get minced pork, we get carrots or some sort of other vegetables, and then because at that time earlier on, I didn't know how to make my own spaghetti sauce. So we just went to the shortcut, bought what brand do you guys use? We usually use like Prego.
Prego.
Yeah, Prego. Yeah, Prego. We usually just and usually right when we buy, we don't buy just one tin. We buy a few to stash up. So yeah, and then
For my family as well.
that's basically I think that was one of the earlier dishes that we made, because it's very simple and straightforward. We were just starting to learn how to cook. I was starting to learn how to cook at home, and spaghetti bolognese I think is a good starting point to learn how to cook, because you get to learn how to cook pasta properly. You get to learn, at least you know how pasta sauce tastes, and then okay, this is how bolognese tastes. Maybe next time I can make it better. I can try to make my version of it and make it better from there. So I think buying pre-made sauces and tasting it tasting it yourself is a good starting point to learn how to cook, because then like you can picture, at least you have a picture of how that tastes commercially, and then you can try to put your own twist to it, if that makes sense.
True.
Yeah, it does.
Definitely. But before we go into Hong Sen, right, I just want a quick. It's not in the flow, but I just got a quick question. But how old are you back then when you cooked your first dish? It's pretty.
Few years ago, you still remember, man?
I honestly can't remember. I was definitely a teenager, so maybe in the middle of my junior and senior years. So if you want me to give an answer, maybe it was 15, 16, somewhere along that line. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty same. I think mine is like, oh wait, I think mine is earlier because, oh no, you're not gonna lie, my uncle is actually a chef. So,
Wow.
not an actual chef right now, but he basically doing something else now. But he was a chef back then. So I think he actually teaches us how to cook during like what? That's my first dish. My first dish ever cooked was, I was like 13, 14. This is pretty,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
so your relative, you actually like learned a lot from your relatives, ah.
Yeah, sort of. Sort of.
Nice,
Alright,
nice.
Nice
alright.
lah. You have someone to guide at least.
Yeah, by the way, Prego, if you want to sponsor this episode, this podcast, we are open. We three of us are using Prego sauce. We are
Oh,
open
yeah.
for you. But back to you, Hongsen.
Yeah. For me, right? Because I actually started quite late compared to both of you lah. I started around 2 years back. Like should be around 2 years back. But if you don't really consider like a really a dish, right? I mean, Maggie is one of the first that I cook.
Okay, then I think I have to change my answer already.
Okay. But let's not say Maggie is let's not say Maggie as a dish because it's instant one. For me, right, if around your age, right, like when you guys started, I was probably still cooking fried egg. That's all I know how to cook. For me,
No,
right?
see, so fried egg was the first dish you made.
More or less.
And now you probably know how to make, like you've perfected your frying technique already.
Yes, I perfected the frying technique and the boiling technique.
Soft boiling technique.
Boiling,
Dude, this.
boil egg.
Guys, boiling eggs is not easy, yeah.
Yeah, just want to point.
It's
Just
not
want to point
easy.
out. All right. The next question to this episode will be the I think I saw Shaun cook this, but I just give it a go. But what's the latest dish we cooked at home? What was the
Okay.
latest dish?
Am I answering first or
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Shaun.
latest dish? If I can remember correctly, oh yeah, because you said I posted on my Instagram. The latest dish I made was roast chicken. Yes, it was roast chicken. Yeah. It was my second or third time lah. I haven't made roast chicken more, definitely not more than 5 times, because it's something new that I'm trying. It's trial and error. This is, yeah, second or third time making roast chicken. Turned out not to my expectations. Maybe if my expectations is 100%, maybe this time, the latest time that I tried, maybe I've hit 75%. Okay, can eat. Okay, it's definitely when you make roast chicken at home. This is what I'll say. If you make roast chicken at home, even if you don't know how to cook, you just follow some sort of recipe you find. It will definitely taste better than what you find in supermarkets or anything outside. Because roast chicken is very, very straightforward.
True. Because outside
Yeah.
it's probably already cold.
It's
And
really
then-
marinate for you though.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
and then sometimes it's probably like under seasons as well. That's probably, yeah.
True.
Yep.
True.
Yep, and like Hong Sen said just now, right? When you make anything at home, you can just adjust the taste to your liking. So that's why roast chicken is actually quite a nice thing, a nice start. Also, apart from chicken bolognese, roast chicken is actually a lot. It's easier than what a lot of people think, because a lot of people think it's really hard. That's why I thought also. That's why I was scared to make roast chicken. But actually, it's not that hard. Actually, it's just messy, I would say, because you have to steam it. It's definitely really messy.
Okay,
Yeah.
understood. Then how about Hongsen first?
For me, latest dish that I've made. I mean, I actually also haven't cooked for quite some time because, for quite some time I haven't cooked already. But if I say that the latest that I've did right is I've cooked using pre-seasoned pork that you can buy outside. It's actually quite seasoned as well, and then with mashed potato.
Oh,
wow,
pork
that's a
and potatoes,
good
right.
meal.
Yeah,
It's damn nice, you know. And then with a salad side.
potatoes.
Yeah.
Salad.
It And then for me is I cook for the whole family lah. So about 4 people.
Well, 4 people. I've never cooked for 4 people before. Usually max is 3 people. So 4 people. Yeah, usually I cook for 3 people is really really tiring already. So imagine cooking for 4 people.
I mean, it's not for me, right? For 4 people, I also get help from my parents, of course.
Oh, okay. I thought
a bit, no, not solo. A bit of assistance from my.
I thought they just they just tell you what they want for dinner and then they throw you in the kitchen like that. Then
No.
Wow. My latest dish. I actually just cooked. I actually just cooked yesterday, which is a tomato egg recipe. It's a very Chinese recipe, I would say.
I love that.
Oh, dude. The first time I ever taste that dish, right? Mommy, please help me. I want to cook this dish. Then, yeah, I so that was should I say saute? It's not saute, right? It's like what?
Oh,
really
I
don't
can't
know.
confirm that with you, man. We need to do some googling after this episode.
Oh my goodness. Basically, it's a tomato and egg dish. It's cooked. I would say quite simple, but you have to perfect the egg. If you screw up the egg, well, you're actually eating hard
Roasted
eggs.
egg.
Roasted egg, basically. So you have to perfect the egg, I would say. Perfect-ish. All right.
Perfect.
So the next, so as you can see, is a very fast one. Not gonna lie. All right. The next question is like, okay. What is the easiest dish to cook at home? I mean, what do we cook? What do we cook? The easiest dish.
Easiest dish.
Easiest.
Hong Sen, why don't you go
Hong
first?
Sen, go.
I probably
Don't tell me
say
Maggie, yeah.
No lah, you.
He's probably gonna say fried egg.
No.
If there's something-
It's not.
There's something
I mean,
easier than fried egg. Well, okay, what is it?
it's not actually not. It's actually right. It's actually toast bread toasted with topped with egg and cheese.
Oh,
I think I talked about it during after the session like that.
Yeah. I think you did. I forgot.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I really love that dish. I basically I eat it like every day.
Every day?
You eat
Yeah, every day. Every morning lah.
Wow.
So your body is what? 50% toast, egg and cheese.
No. 33% toast.
33%. Okay.
We still have lunch and dinner. Yeah, but basically, for me, I think this is the easiest dish that you probably can make because the egg, you just need to cook it. You just need to boil it, to full, and then you mash it. I guess you just mash it until it becomes like, I don't know, something like
scrambled egg.
It's not. Is it scrambled? Yeah, it's like scrambled egg-ish like that lah. Then after then you just after you do it, you put some cheese inside, then some seasoning, then you can just spread it on the bed. Damn nice.
You can never go wrong with egg and cheese.
Never go wrong.
Yeah.
You never
Even
go.
if the cheese is a little bit burnt, it will still taste good.
Bro, that's the flavor, bro.
Yeah.
That's the
You
flavor.
have to like let it burn a little bit, right? Get it crispy.
Yeah, that's the word I would say. Char.
Char.
Charred cheese.
Charred cheese.
Oh, nice.
Alright, how about Shaun?
Not melted.
Not melted by the way. It's char. Yeah, Shaun, how about you? The easiest.
Easiest. Okay, I think the easiest dish, the most easiest and fastest thing I can make, and it only takes just a few ingredients, is scrambled eggs. Yeah, because you only need eggs, butter, sometimes milk, but I don't really like to put milk in scrambled eggs.
Yeah, same.
I usually just go all natural. Eggs, use fresh eggs, salt, pepper, butter. That's it. And you guys know that the the most popular scrambled egg video on YouTube, right? The Gordon Ramsay one.
Ah, yes.
Oh, I've tried it before. I've tried it. It's damn nice.
Yeah. That's actually I think the first time I made scrambled eggs, I was so obsessed with that video. So I basically like started to slowly learn from there. Like I got so inspired by Gordon's video. I think that video has like over 60 million views or something like that. It's pretty crazy. So
Just to learn how to make scrambled eggs.
yeah, if Gordon Ramsay's scrambled egg video gets 60 million views, right? It's pretty serious over there already. So
Yeah.
I tried it. Yeah, like Onsen said, I would say it's almost the perfect way to make scrambled eggs. And yeah, if any of you haven't watched that video yet, go maybe Jack can link that video in the description.
Sure, why not?
Maybe. Or
Why
hey,
not?
maybe he can. Jack, maybe you can also throw in a few of your favorite recipes down there, so your viewers can.
Maybe I
Go
should
ahead,
throw
do it.
your recipe down in the description.
My recipe,
You
I
should
know-
throw his IG. You should throw his IG inside.
Yeah, throw my IG over there. Don't throw my recipes. I don't have any recipes yet.
I'll do that. For me, easiest it's gotta be English breakfast. So my
Oh.
English breakfast is pretty simple. Sausage, bacon, and eggs. That's it. Or even or even sometimes hams.
Yes, really, really classic. I really agree with you because English breakfast you throw whatever feels right on the plate. It definitely tastes good lah. Sausage, and if you make English breakfast at home, it's gonna taste a lot better than what you get outside.
Yes, it's so true.
Yeah. It's not when you say English breakfast, right? It's not. If you haven't had English breakfast at home before, we definitely recommend you to try it because you can go source the ingredients yourself, and once you make English breakfast at home, you'll never go and order English breakfast from Old Town anymore already.
Yes, it's so true.
Okay.
It's so true.
For me, I haven't.
Yes.
I actually haven't tried English breakfast before.
Dude, you should try. You should
we
try.
say we call it English breakfast, right? But actually, I don't
It's
know whether
not.
that's the correct term or not. It's just eggs. What do you say, Jack, just now? Sausage,
And bacon. Or even ham.
bacon. Yeah. You need to have bacon. Or if you can't if you can't take pork, because some of us can't take pork, right? Chicken ham is good enough
It's
already.
good enough.
Some type of meat, okay, fry it, until it's crispy. Get some baked beans over there. Yeah. Be creative, guys.
Yeah, just want to put it out there. I don't eat baked beans.
Okay.
I don't eat baked beans. But okay,
I love
so
baked beans.
you guys, yeah, it's your personal preference. I'm not gonna judge it.
Yeah.
But
So right or wrong?
it's no right and wrong. But I would say, right, so as Sean said just now, if you're eaten English breakfast or you cook English breakfast at your home, it's way more better than even restaurants or even cafe out there. Just gonna put it out there because you taste even better is because the effort you put in. So yeah, I think okay, I'm not gonna say the restaurant name. It's an XX restaurant. When I try their English breakfast, dude, I'm totally gonna be honest, it sucks. The sausage is mushy, the egg is not cooked, the bread is not well toasted. Baked beans is not my thing, so I don't eat. Yeah,
Yes.
it's just so bad.
I think I
And-
know which restaurant. I think.
Hey,
Combination
please,
is very similar.
the exposer.
One of my pet peeves when it comes to English breakfast, from what you get outside, is when the sausage is pink inside. You know those red colored sausages? Like what Jade said just now, the mushy ones, the soft mushy ones, Yeah, those sausages are those like cheap, very, very, I can't say cheap. It's those like,
Low
because
quality.
sometimes sausages can be cheap
Normal
and good.
one.
It's those like, when you eat them, right, it doesn't even taste like meat,
Yes,
you know?
that's the point.
McDonald's cheeseburgers have more meat than that,
Oh my god,
Like-
yes.
So, that's why we keep saying And don't get me wrong, okay? Not all cafes or not all restaurants sell crap breakfast. There
Yes.
are, if they know what they're doing, okay, if they are really passionate about their food, they can they you can't what you make can't even beat them. I will say this because
Okay.
some cafes like I'm just gonna put out some names over there. Like if you guys have been to Dodo Bake, you know, but Dodo Bake is quite expensive. But like restaurants like this, they're not a restaurant. Cafes like this, they know what they're doing with their food. You know that you're getting what you're paying for lah. But if so, I think it's really obvious when you eat what people serve, you can tell whether they are passionate on their food or not. So yeah, like Jet said, I think it goes to a lot of things that we make at home. A lot of things that we make at home will taste better because we can adjust the things on the plate. Is what we're trying to say.
True. That's true. Totally true. Alright. Did we all went through just now the question?
Probably, I think.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Then our
Yeah,
next,
yeah.
Alright. So, okay, this will be I think this question will be an interesting one. The hardest / longest dish that you ever cook at home.
Hmm. Okay. Hardest.
Or even
Um,
longest. Or even-
Hardest. Okay.
yeah.
Who's going first this time?
I'll go first since you guys probably need some time because I cook less. I have less experience than you, so you got both of you, so I can think out quicker, something like that.
Alright.
Because you guys need to
If
go through.
you already have your answer, why don't you go first?
Yeah. Go first lah. So I'll say two lah, cause let's say one for hardest, one for longest lah. So for me, the hardest dish that I've made, right, is the souffle omelette, the fluffy one.
Oh.
Oh, you mean those Japanese?
Japanese
Yes,
thick
yes.
omelette.
Thick omelette, the
Oh.
fluffy one. I've tried to make those. I made like I probably done it straight for like 3 or 4 days for breakfast.
Wow.
I tried it.
Just to practice your skills.
I mean, I want to try to make it. At least I at least can say I succeeded in making it. So
That's some dedication. Then you have some dedication right there, man.
on the third or fourth day, I think I probably did it because the first two is like just flat, just a normal egg. Just
Trial and error.
Try and error.
But okay lah.
Did you succeed?
Yeah. On the third or fourth day, I forgot it's
Wow.
third or fourth, but it's either one of them lah. Then for me, the longest dish is like I said, for the latest dish, which is the seasoned pork or chicken with mashed potato. But
Wow.
this one is not pre-seasoned. This one, I had to season it, so it increases the time. The time is longer.
That's why it's the longest lah.
Yeah.
Just the marinade part, I mean just the season part, right, is like to take us the longest one.
But
Yeah,
you can juggle between seasoning the meat, then go to mashed potato, then go back to cutting the meat and cooking it, and then go back to mashed potato.
Ah,
This is how
true.
the flow.
Oh.
Oh, that's true. You can save a lot of time, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I go first.
Hmm?
Since
Go
Sean
ahead,
is
go ahead.
the amateur home cooks. I think for me, right, this is also the hardest and also the longest dish for me. Lasagna.
Oh, I never made lasagna before. Okay, what's your
My
experience?
mom make lasagna before.
Okay, so this dish, right, I have to make together with my mom. Together, we have to learn it together because, dude, one man stand, or even my mom do it by her own, dude, totally dead.
Yes.
Okay, so my mom actually told me this experience before that she actually, if you are cooking lasagna, right, please split into days to cook lasagna. So for example, day one you can cook the bolognese itself, and then the second day you can prepare all the stuff, and then you can straight cook right away. So what happened is when the first time we actually cook past this lasagna dish, which is only the day we had, she actually stays in the kitchen for 3 hours just for this dish.
Wow,
3 hours. Dude,
that's crazy.
That is long.
that is damn long. Then I was,
That's your mother's love right there.
oh
That's your
man,
mother's love right there.
I love her so much. But yeah, that's the first time. Because, okay, so the first time we actually cooked bolognese, bechamel, and even the pasta on that day. And we also have to layer it, we have to bake it. Dude, it's take a lot of time to make that dish. And then, because on the first time, right, we actually follow a recipe. And so we actually cook the bolognese, we actually cook the bechamel. We also cook the pasta actually. So yeah, and then you bake it. You can hear it from this. It's like it totally took 3 hours to make that. So after that first time, the second time or even further times, we actually asked. As I say, my uncle was the chef, so we asked my uncle, and then he is like, "You actually don't need to cook the pasta because you're in the when you're baking in the oven, you actually cook the pasta itself." So you actually purposely don't have to cook the pasta, and it's actually stay the structure as if you know lasagna. There's so many layers of it, and then it stays the structure there, so it won't fall easily if you cook the pasta. So for tips out there, you don't have to cook the pasta. But the most important part that if you're cooking lasagna, please, if you want to cook the whole tray, you have to cover the whole tray with lasagna. Please don't left any pockets, because if you left pockets, right, well, it's not even when you cut it out or even you take it out from the oven also. So, it took some, as I think in cooking is make it fun is that you can make your own preference and also, trials and errors. So I think that I would say, yeah, I think that's the hardest for me, lasagna. Damn. This dish.
Wow, that's very ambitious. And lasagna is something that I really want to try for a very long time. But as a home cook, right, I'm just scared, because we have such a small kitchen, and lasagna is such a daunting task.
Yes,
So
it is.
I'm just curious. Was those 3 hours worth it?
Wow.
This is a different kind of question already, right?
Yeah, this is a different type of
Did it
question.
turn out the way you expected it to be?
Because we actually followed the recipe. So, to be honest, I actually forgotten how was it. But I think that 3 hours, I think it's totally worth it. Totally worth it.
For lasagna.
Dude, just for lasagna way. My mom actually stuck in the kitchen for 3 hours just to cook this freaking dish. I mean, props to my
Yeah.
mom. Props to my mom.
And-
Wow.
Yeah, and from what you said just now, right? I think one tip that I can give to the listeners or viewers is following what Jack said just now. If you're making something at home that takes you this much effort, please make a big batch.
Yes.
Yeah. Can
Please.
you imagine if you took if because the reason why, right, is okay, based on experience cooking at home. Like just now, you said it took 3 hours, right?
Yes.
Because the reason why we recommend y'all to make a big batch of something that takes so long to make is because, especially lasagna, yeah, okay, because if it takes 3 hours to make this much, it also takes 3 hours to make this much. It's the
True.
same.
True. It's actually
Yeah,
true.
it's just a size difference only.
True.
So, and also, even if you can't finish it, you can slice it up and keep it in the freezer. And then one Friday night, and you're drunk and you want lasagna, you just take it out from the freezer and just put it in the oven.
Yeah.
And then you have lasagna straight away. The work has already been done before already.
Yes.
So that's why I think if you're making something that takes a lot of effort and time, why not just make a big batch straight away? So it saves you time and effort. You're already using your energy and time. Why not make one big batch to go?
Yes, true. So, as you say this one, right, I still remember. So every time when we finish our meal, right, we always have this, like, I don't know how to describe.
Leftover.
Yeah, we always have leftover for lasagna because, dude, 3 hours in the kitchen, bro. If you as Shaun said, if you want to make lasagna or you want to bake or you want to make something big, or you put a big huge amount of effort and time into it, why not just make a big batch of it? Then you can save it for later. Then yeah, as Shaun said, you can put it in the freezer. So on that dish, right, on the next day after we had dinner for lasagna on that day, the next day, my lunch is actually lasagna again.
Lasagna every day. Yeah.
Not every day, but only the next day.
Settle for the rest of the week already.
Yes. Kinda. Yeah, I think that would be my hardest and longest. Wow.
See, wow. Okay. So, all right, I guess now it's my
Your
turn
turn.
to tell you guys what the hardest or longest dish I've made is. I think the hardest, longest would be something I've mentioned before. It will be roast chicken because of the process. You have to
Okay.
season the chicken, and if you really want a good roast chicken, you can't just season it outside. You have to lift up the skin of the chicken and stuff the flavored butter inside the skin because that's what makes crispy skin. You have to stuff
Oh.
butter under the skin. Yeah, and you have to make the trivet. The trivet is basically the vegetables under the chicken. Usually it's carrots, celery. Some people put onions, potatoes. So that's the trivet under the chicken. You have to stuff things inside the chicken. Sometimes a lot of people choose lemon. You can stuff herbs, like rosemary, thyme, to make it flavorful. So it really something like lasagna. It really takes a lot of time and effort, TLC, time, love, and care. But it is worth it. It doesn't take 3 hours, but it's still I would say it's still a workout in the kitchen. So that's the longest. The hardest I would say is, well, here's the thing. I think Chinese food is a lot harder than Western food. And
Makes
I don't know
sense.
how many of you agree, but we've tried making Shaun Yoong before.
Oh wow.
Okay. Okay. The Shaun Yoong I've never made before, but I've seen my uncle did it before. Shaun Yoong or cha sao?
Shaun Yoong.
Suyo.
Shaun Yoong is basically
Roast
sao.
pork.
One is Cantonese, one is Chinese.
Yeah. I've seen my uncle did Shaun Yoong before. You have to cover it with salt, right?
Yeah,
Is it that one?
with a lot of salt and five spice, Chinese five spice powder. Sometimes we
Yes.
add a little bit of nutmeg, but the main flavor is going to be like five spice. That's like the main flavor of Shaun Yoong. But why is it hard? It's not about the flavor or the process and all. It's because it really takes a lot of time. It really takes trial and error to get it right because different ovens are different. Different. Sometimes sometimes the piece of meat, the size of the meat will affect the cooking time. So sometimes you can't just dead follow a recipe online. What I really believe in is you should use the recipe as a guideline rather than a rule. So if it says 180 for 30 minutes, you just take that as a guideline and then adjust it to the size of your oven and the size of your meat. Because the first time we made Shaun Yoong, right, it turned out really dry, and the top was crispy, but it was like overly crispy. So
Oh,
the
no.
skin was actually crispy, but it was really hard. It was
Chew.
crispy and hard, so it's really hard to chew.
Oh.
Yeah, you feel like you're going to break a tooth, when you bite it. So even though it was like flavorful, it was like really, really difficult to eat. So that's why it took a lot of trial and error for us to make Shaun Yoong at home, good Shaun Yoong at home. And we still haven't perfected it. Yeah, that's why I think that Shaun Yoong in our family is so far the hardest thing that we've made.
Wow, Zhao.
And we still haven't perfected it yet.
It's okay.
But damn, the
that need to
effort
take
though.
time.
The
Yeah,
effort you
and
went
the
in.
thing is, right, the sad part is when you're trying to make something this complicated, especially when you're making such a big portion, right? Because still you can't just put like 2 centimeter pieces of meat inside.
True.
You have to bake like a whole slab of meat. So when the meat doesn't come out the way you expected it, right, the whole thing goes to waste.
Oh, true.
You know,
Oh, that's the
It's-
saddest part.
Yeah, that's the saddest part about it. But if you
dear.
really want to practice, that's something that you have to sacrifice, lah. You know,
Mm.
yeah,
Mm.
it's part of the process. You know, you learn along the way. You know, just like making content online, you learn along the way. You know, because you fail, you learn you learn something new.
Oh
True, true,
wow.
true, true, true.
True also. True. It's very
Yeah.
true. Alright. The next one. The next one would be okay. This one is also quite interesting, I would say. I think every question is interesting, but let's go for it.
Everything is interesting.
So the question is the dish that you wanted to try for a long time but you still haven't tried it out. What's the specific dish that you wanted to try but you haven't tried it?
Okay, wanted to try but haven't tried it.
Yes.
Is it okay if I go first?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure,
Go,
go
go,
ahead.
go.
Because I already have an answer, and I'm just gonna make it quick. And because I've already mentioned it before, it's lasagna. It's lasagna. Because
Okay.
lasagna. And until today, I'm still scared of doing it because, like Jet mentioned before, it takes a lot of labor is involved. Yeah, and you not only have to make the pasta. Some people even make the pasta.
Yes,
Like
that's
they,
true.
Yeah.
when I say make the pasta, it's not you go to Hero Market and buy the packet of lasagna sheet. You buy the eggs, the flour, then you make the pasta. And then the pasta also you need to, if you make the
Wait
pasta,
it.
it's be a lot more work because the pasta has to chill in the fridge. It has to rest also. So it's gonna take 5 hours if not, you know. Some people even stretch it out to a few days, like you said, which is
Mm.
I would say is a good family activity lah.
Yes. Yes, it is. It is.
Family bonding. The good thing about this is it's a good family activity. You know, get the whole family together, make lasagna, get to know each other a little bit more. Yeah,
And then
do
you
something
can get to eat as well.
somebody does something wrong, we can scold them. Then yeah. So yeah, my answer is lasagna.
Damn, lasagna.
Lasagna.
Hong Sen?
For me, actually also quite close. Not lasagna, but I always wanted to try carbonara sauce.
Carbonara.
I haven't
Yeah.
tried it yet. I mean, I've eaten carbonara, but for me, some of them just taste a bit too how to say?
Milky? Too creamy? In a way?
Yeah, too creamy.
Yeah,
It's a-
One of my
the consistency is a bit too thick for me.
yeah, too thick and creamy. I don't know about you guys, but one of my pet peeves when it comes to carbonara or any creamy pasta outside is they douse the whole thing with cream
Oh my god,
Ah,
yes. I
yes.
hate it.
because traditional carbonara has no cream inside.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, traditional carbonara only has pork fat, usually guanciale, which is I think if I'm not mistaken, it's the cheek meat from the pig.
It's a gel, basically.
Yeah, that's the meat they use, you know, in Italy. Or I think carbonara originated from Italy. Is it? Someone
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong.
Italian, it's Italian.
Italy,
I
right?
don't know.
Italy.
The traditional recipe they use guanciale, but a lot of us, you know, over here we use bacon, and that's just as fine. So usually it takes bacon, egg, and Parmesan cheese.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think the traditional recipe doesn't even require parmesan. I think they use another type of sheep's cheese, but that's way too specific for us already lah. We usually use parmesan lah. So usually carbonara is just these three ingredients only: fat, eggs, and cheese. That's what makes the carbonara sauce. There's no cream inside. The cream actually you get the cream from the
Cheese.
what's the noun? Emulsification, I think, from the fat and the cheese. So that's what makes the creaminess. I'm not so sure whether emulsification is the correct term. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
It's probably correct.
And one more thing is pasta water. You have to add pasta water.
I almost forgot that. Thank you so much. Pasta water is very, very important because Jet, you mentioned you've tried carbonara before, right? Making carbonara at home.
It's a it's a cheat version. It's a cheat version. It's not a traditional one. I just want to put it out there.
I think I know the cheap version. Just the tin plus some milk. Was it milk?
Milk.
Milk.
I add milk.
You don't
I mean,
add milk to your
That's not
carbonara.
carbonara, man.
That's not carbonara, bro.
You're gonna offend a lot of
I
people.
think it should be white sauce. Not carbonara. It should be white sauce. It should be white sauce.
Dude, you scare me. You added milk to your
Okay.
carbonara.
All the everyone look down there. All the dislikes are coming from the Italian.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
All the dislikes. See,
I'm sorry.
they're getting triggered already.
Yeah, that also my pet peeve, to be honest. If it's written there carbonara, you don't add cream to your sauce.
Yes,
You don't.
Because if you add cream, it's okay. It's fine if you call it carbonara, but I don't know whether they taste their food or not. Because if it's too creamy, right, it's really hard to eat.
Yes, true.
It's really hard to eat.
Really hard to
Especially-
swallow.
Yeah, it's really hard to swallow. It's really like I can take a few, maybe 1 or 2 spoons, but then after that I can't continue already.
Yeah.
Especially when the sauce is extremely thick and really, really white. Yeah, that is somewhere that is like leading towards pasta Alfredo already, because pasta Alfredo is
Oh, yeah, true.
basically a white sauce, a white cheese sauce. Yeah, so if you're doing that, then yeah, I guess you could call it pasta Alfredo.
Yeah, you shouldn't name
I've
carbonara.
I've never tried making pasta Alfredo lah, so I might try it one day.
Alright, wow. The dish I wanted to try for a very long time, I think we sat down and talked about it after the section, which is homemade pasta. Dude, I wanted to
Yes,
do
yes.
for a very long time, but I don't have the time. I don't have the time to do it.
We can collaborate.
I
Hey!
really want to try homemade pasta as well.
Sean, can we make cooking blind? Cooking blind?
Pardon? Hey, let's do it. I mean, hey,
I'll come for sauce. I'll come to do the sauce.
I come for pasta and sauce.
cooking blind. I'll call the both of you to judge, and then you guys can like criticize us. Like
No, I'm not gonna be the judge. I want to be cooking as well. I also wanted to learn. Dude,
I want to be in the background just to see.
The thing is, okay, to all of you who are watching, I'm not so sure if you know my series called Cooking Blind or not, but Cooking Blind, right? The rule is the person who is cooking alongside me cannot know what we're making. So if you're coming for an episode of Cooking Blind, it's really important that you don't know that we're making pasta. So hey, maybe episode 20 I'll call you.
Alright, for those just for context, right, for those who don't know Cooking Blind is Sean's channel, one of the series that basically just that's what just Sean said just now.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk. We're not gonna waste your time over here explaining what Cooking Blind is. If you want to know what Cooking Blind is, right, go and search it out yourself, lah. I mean, hey, it's not Jet's
Link
job
in the
to
description
tell you what
below.
to do. Jet's job is to give you an entertaining podcast. So
Yes, I would say so. Yeah, it kind of is. Okay, so this is the last one. I think we sort of answered it during the whole section. So what type of dish that you recommend for beginner cooks out there? Cooking at home,
okay.
specifically cooking at home. So
all right.
yeah, Sean, I think you
Okay.
may go first, lah. This one,
Sean, go first.
Sean, go first.
Okay. All right. If you are a beginner at home, okay. So first of all, it's a wide scope warrior because there's no specificity saying that you want to cook Asian food or Western food. So the scope is quite broad. But if I were to recommend one thing, I would say try to cook eggs first, because it may seem, okay, this is a very weird answer. Some of you might think that eggs is very, very simple and hey, what am I gonna learn from cooking eggs, right? Because eggs, hey, it's just such a small, simple ingredient. But actually eggs, you get to learn a lot of techniques when you're making eggs, because eggs, you can make scrambled eggs, you can make hard-boiled eggs, you can make soft-boiled eggs. Hard-boiled eggs and soft-boiled eggs train your sense of timing, and you can make an omelette. You can make something that we mentioned before. You can make scrambled eggs. I've already mentioned before. We can make poached eggs also. So as you can see, right? Hey, you can also make fried eggs. So why I say eggs is because, as you can see, one simple ingredient like eggs, you can make so many different things just with one ingredient, and each type of egg dish, you learn something new.
Yeah, true.
And the good thing here is it's technical, but it's also easy to start off with because all you need is eggs. So you're not asking yourself to make pasta or roast chicken, or stew yolk, because if you start with something too complicated and you fail, it's going to be very demotivating. So why not try something simple like eggs? Something very it's not to say expensive, it's actually quite cheap also. Eggs. Just buy one tray and learn the techniques over there. So one example is if you make poached eggs. Poached eggs is very technical. I fail a lot when I make poached eggs.
Same.
Hard-boiled eggs are
That is
technical.
hard.
Hard-boiled eggs, you may think you just throw an egg in a pot of boiling water, right? But a lot of times, if the egg is not fresh enough, the egg may crack. If the egg is not fresh enough, you may have a hard time peeling it. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of techniques, like they say after cooking the egg, if you want to stop the cooking time, you have to blast it
Put
in
it in the cold water. Yeah.
So those are small things that you get to learn when you're playing around with eggs. So that's why eggs will be my answer.
Wow. That's a very deep answer, by the way. I'll give you applause out there.
Let me add on for the eggs, but for the eggs, right? If you really want to make boiled eggs, you probably want to poke a hole at the bottom of the egg, a small hole,
Just for
even
hard
if
boil or soft boil?
anything.
Oh,
Anything.
okay.
If you're putting in the water if you need to boil it, put a hole in it, because if you put a hole inside, even if it cracks, right, it actually disables the crack function in the egg,
Oh, never thought about
really?
it.
So that's why some people actually poke like a small hole.
Yeah,
at the
they
bottom.
do. But I don't know what's the
poke.
science behind about it.
I've never thought about it. I definitely have to try this one day.
You can try to poke a hole, but not that. I'm not sure how big is the hole, but it is small enough that it doesn't break the egg. At the same time that it
So basically, we have to use a needle to poke.
something like a needle to poke. Yeah, there's also devices that you can put inside, and then it just help you poke the hole in the egg.
I see.
When you cook it, right, you don't need to really bother about how it will destroy the egg. It will just it's gonna be a smooth ride for you boiling the egg. No cracks and all.
That's a very good tip. Thanks.
Oh,
I'm
thank
gonna
you.
try that.
Thank you.
I'm gonna try
I
that.
have to try it too, man. I have to try it. I have to try it.
So I think for me, what beginner can cook, I think other than eggs, I would say, but you can do English breakfast. English breakfast as in like bacon, sausage, ham, or even what type of meat you're putting on a plate and you're eating breakfast. Well, because this one, right, I think for beginners will be a little bit easier because you just only put it on the pan, then you just wait. Then you flip it once, then you just wait again. Then you just put it out of the pan. Why I would say it's easy because it's pretty simple, to be honest, because you just have to wait. You just have to wait, and then you can tweak it. I wouldn't say tweak it. You just have to time it properly. You of course don't
Overcook.
you don't overcook it, and then you don't burn the whole kitchen. That's the don't do that. You don't.
That's the bare minimum that you can do.
Yes. I think that's for me. And then if you want to do scrambled eggs, yeah, you can learn it. You can actually learn from a lot of ingredients and throughout the whole recipe lah. So that's for me. Yeah. How about Hong Sen?
For this whole session, right? For the whole session, right? It's like everything is egg related. Every single question you ask, we will somehow manage to put an egg inside.
That's true.
But, yeah,
True.
Yeah, but eggs again. Yeah.
I mean, my recommendation dish for beginners does have egg as well.
Really?
No. Yeah, it's actually pancake.
Oh,
Oh.
pancake.
It's actually
True.
really simple to do. Just egg and
Yeah.
flour. If you want,
Oh.
I've actually seen other people do like with Milo as well, chocolate powder.
Wait,
It's actually quite nice.
wait.
Yes.
Just want to hold
I
you
tried-
there.
Yeah,
Milo?
Yeah, Milo. I've tried it. It's okay.
It makes sense also. Makes sense also.
Makes sense.
I mean,
you
chocolate
have
pancakes,
flour.
right?
Yeah,
And
chocolate. It's like
with
chocolate
the-
pancake.
Chocolate pancakes with a Malaysian twist. I love that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good twist.
With Malaysian twist with Milo.
Yes.
I've never thought about adding Milo to my pancake batter.
Yes.
I actually searched online for how to make pancakes. So I was like, okay, just this two. Then all of a sudden I see Milo pancake. I was like, what is this? Just go inside. I said, okay, just add Milo
Yeah.
inside. So
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah?
Yep. Sorry. You can go.
because with traditional pancakes, you will need to add butter and honey, correct?
I've
Correct.
never added
Yeah.
honey before.
I think
Are you
honey.
sure?
I think honey is at the end of the cooking, so you basically drizzle.
Ah,
Like I mean, dribble
Okay,
on.
yes, that's common.
Yeah. Yeah. For Milo, right? Depending on how much you add the Milo, if you add enough, you actually don't need anything. You can just eat it dry like that. It has the sweetness to it as well
Oh,
because Milo is sweet,
Yes.
so it has that natural sweetness. So you just need to add. Maybe if it's too dry, add butter. That's enough.
let's see.
That's a good
Wow.
one. Wow.
That's kind of smart. Cool. I have to try this. We're learning a lot in this podcast, from each other.
Yes, we are. Oh my gosh. Well, it's been a section, guys. Wow, this is an amazing episode. I didn't expect to be this good, to be honest. I thought we're just gonna be like, oh, straight to the answer, and then we don't learn anything. But hey, we learn every single day.
A lot.
We learn a lot. If you guys don't know, Shaun actually have a series called, I don't know what's the series called, but he actually went to cafes and to reviews their food. So Shaun, do you have any recommendations out there? Just specifically for Malaysian or even in KL or even in Selangor. So yeah, any cafe recommendation to the viewers?
IKEA.
What did you say, Hongsen?
That's not a cafe. He said IKEA. IKEA. Dude, IKEA is not a cafe. Oh my gosh. That's a restaurant.
IKEA, however you say it. IKEA has a cafe too,
Oh, he does? I thought it's
Yeah.
only a
At the-
restaurant.
at the end
Oops.
of the. No, is it at the end? Was it the one at the end or in the middle section?
IKEA has a restaurant. Yes, that's where we get their meatballs and stuff, right? But recently they've branched out to IKEA Cafe. Like it literally says cafe over there. And they serve
okay.
coffee, they serve pastries. Both branches in Malaysia, the Damansara one and the where's the other one?
Penang or Cheras? Forgotten already.
Oh, there's two in Selangor.
Yeah.
Cheras.
I think Cheras.
Cheras. So Cheras and the one near my town, right? Those two also have IKEA cafes over there.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, both restaurant and cafe, and the both of you should definitely go and try that. I went cafe hopping there as well.
Yeah.
The coffee not bad. I've never tried their like latte or americano. I've tried their like smoothies, and it's actually not bad, and it's not Starbucks prices. It's actually quite affordable.
Wow.
That's the good thing about IKEA lah.
So you recommend IKEA for the IKEA cafe?
And that can be one of my recommendations since Hongchen brought it up, right? Yeah, that's a good recommendation actually. I also so that's like so let's start from IKEA. If we go a little bit higher, if you want if you have a little bit more money, you want a little bit more like better coffee or per se, you can. There's a cafe called what's that cafe called actually? There's one cafe. Actually, a lot of cafes in PJ. Have you guys been to Garage 51?
Oh, I heard it before.
Heard it before, yeah.
It's
So
so
Garage 51
familiar.
is in Sunway. So Garage 51 is also the food over there. I would say is normal. Coffee is good. The coffee over there is good. If you're in
Wow.
Kota Kemuning, I would say Kota Kemuning, I would say there's this place called Sips and Bites.
Oh,
Huh?
Yeah, Sips and Bites will go cafe. Another popular one is Brew and Wait.
My favorite
Uh-huh.
cafe in Kota Kemuning.
That's yes, I have to agree with you. That's the best place to get your coffee, and
Yes.
they're in Kota Kemuning. Yes,
Yes.
I totally agree with you.
God
If you
damn.
guys, there's also another recommendation. I went there very recently only. If you guys watch my channel, Dodo Bake. Dodo Bake is a really good place, but please don't go there weekly lah. Okay, go there maybe once, twice a year for the experience over there,
Ah.
because it's really more of the place is really more towards a place where you relax and give
Ah.
yourself a good reward after working so hard, because it's not cheap. I have to be honest with you guys, it's not cheap. The one cup of coffee, maybe if you're ordering those special coffees, right? I think they have some kind of like special flavorings. It can go up to over 20 ringgit. Their small dodo breakfast, small dodo breakfast is basically a higher end version of an English breakfast. It's 28 ringgit, 27 or 28 ringgit.
Dude,
Yeah,
expensive.
that's expensive.
yes. It's freaking expensive. But if you're paying for the experience once, twice a year, then I think they go for it. Okay,
Hmm.
pay for the experience. Don't pay for it's
food.
not really a place that you say, hey, you want to go Dodo Bay Yap Cha. No, that's not the place you go to.
You want
Okay?
yum cha? Go mama yum cha. Go
Ah,
mama yum
okay.
cha.
If you want to go Yap Cha, go to Mama or go to Old Town. Actually, Old Town is actually also quite expensive. Go to Mama, please. Okay. Okay. So yeah, Dodo Bay makes Starbucks look cheap. Okay.
Whoa.
Wow.
I'm not gonna be the judge of that, but okay, fine.
But hey, don't get me wrong. That's not criticism. That's not criticism. Dodo Bake, if you're watching this, your food is bomb. Okay, your coffee and food is bomb. It's just
Earn the recognition of
price
Shaun.
range is just not for everyone.
It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
So if one day I can go to Dodo Bake, why not? I think I should go once. Just only once.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I
For
don't
the
know.
experience.
Just for the
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, my recommendation is go at least once. Go at least once to know what what is what the hype is about, because their sourdough is actually really good.
Oh, they have sourdough.
Yeah. They're actually known for their sourdough.
Oh,
Wow.
that's
Yeah,
right.
they're known for their sourdough.
Oh, that's why
Yeah.
quite expensive.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, guys, it's been a section. I know it's a little bit long than usual, but hey, if you learned about this podcast, give it a like and subscribe to my channel, or you can subscribe to Shaun's channel, Shaun Yoong. I'll put the link right down below on the description box down below. If you are listening on Spotify or even Anchor or even our brand new platform, Google Podcasts. If you are listening there, you can jump over to YouTube and then click the link right down below. It's free. So again, thanks Shaun, our good friend Shaun, for to join us to have this section. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for listening to us talk, man.
Thank you. And then if you haven't checked it out, of course, you can stream us on Spotify, Anchor, as I say, Google Podcasts, and you can watch us. You can visualize this thing on YouTube. So if you can watch this on YouTube, we get more views, obviously. But other than that, if you have not followed Instagram, you can follow my Instagram page, the corner.podcast. If you haven't yet, go follow it. You will be updating more and more stuff over there. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening, and we hope you stay safe, stay clean, and we see you on the next episode. Bye.